What up, guys? Today I wanted to do a Synchro video because we are hitting level 500 for everybody this video. Last time I hit level 400, it was about 7 months ago, so I'm not gonna lie, I've been moving pretty decently fast. That being said, I could be moving a bit faster, right? If I wanted to farm every single, little thing I could farm, I could be pushing the hard mode hard, I could be doing all of the tribe towers hard, but I like using that for showcase, so sue me. Anyways, the path from 400 to 500 was kind of rough, I'm not gonna lie. Last time when I got to 400, I was like, okay, well, just only buy core dust, and that's basically the only thing that's limiting me. Also, this is really bugging me. I kind of want to organize this to make it look pretty, but I'm just so lazy. Anyways, I like doing these. One, because I kind of just like having a milestone here with all my levels. And two, I want to kind of give my thoughts about how to progress with this synchro thing right here. And what you want to expect moving forward. Now, if your thing is past 500, then the only thing you can really do is give me tips on what to do, huh? But if you're under 500, I kind of want to give some thoughts on what kind of you should be doing. God dang, you know what? I used all of my core cases, not the core cases, but the cases where you can choose which case you want, if that makes sense. I don't remember what it's called, but I just used all of them. Dang it, I should have saved some. Anyways, the main thing that was limiting me from 400 to 500 actually this time was the credits. So the problem was whenever I'd get a huge chunk, for the most part it was the first huge chunk, or maybe the first 3 huge chunks, but for the most part I hoard all of my cases, and then when a new campaign chapter drops I use them all and then level up the synchro device a lot because I like it and it's fun and it's satisfying to see the number go up a lot, right? But I was doing that, and I think if I remember correctly, the first campaign chapters to drop, the new ones, I don't know, last year I guess, I would use my, I guess not last year actually, 7 months ago, after that video where I hit 400, the next campaign chapters I think is when I realized that, okay, I'm not limited from core dust, I'm now limited from credits, which is actually really bad because as you know, credits aren't only used to upgrade the synchro, they're also used to upgrade things like gears, and that could be a problem. So very fast I realized that, okay, well now I'm running into the issue of not having enough money to upgrade my gears and farm some overload gears and stuff like that. So from the jump to 400 to 500, I would now recommend to probably do a 5-to-1 ratio probably of credits to core dust, case selector. Let me actually go into my inventory because I was thinking about this, and for the most part I now only choose the credit cases from the selector. Yeah, I don't have one in my inventory, dang it. I don't think they sell them in the shop. No, actually, you know what, let's go to the shop, why not? There's a chance that they're selling in the shop currently, but alright, selector. Obviously that's not going to be in there. Not there either. I don't know why I clicked that. And not there either. I don't know why I'm clicking these. Okay, never mind. They don't have any selector thingies in there. Okay, that was a waste of time. I guess I can do this. I'm not really sure if I'm going to get battle data limited yet, so I kind of have not transferred into either core dust or credits. But I could be looking into that. Let's see. The only real place to use this is the synchro device, right? You were using a lot of this when you were before level 160, because I mean that would be what you used to upgrade your units. But now, I don't think I use it at all. I'd have to double check, but yeah. I would only basically select the credits from that selector thing, and then look at my inventory. I still have way more oh my god, I have 600 of these from where? Anyways, I have 700 of these core cases. Meanwhile, I mean, I've been only selecting the credits, and I still have easily half of what the core cases are. So honestly, from 400 to 500, depending on how you're progressing, I guess, or exactly what you buy in the event shop, for example, or I guess just a regular shop, for example, I would recommend only really selecting the credits from the selector, because this is kind of what's going to get you bottlenecked moving up in the synchro levels, right? But other than that, I mean, that's kind of the only thing I struggled from 400 to 500. I really needed credits, and honestly, there was times where I would upgrade the synchro device as much as I can after like the campaign streams, and I would be very dangerously low on money and potentially risk not being able to upgrade the units that I need to for showcases. Now, that doesn't really matter for the average person, right? You're really only upgrading units' gears if they're really good, and I mean, the only real places are for like anniversaries or New Year's or yada yada yada, which is kind of unfortunate, right? I mean, if you're a free-to-play player, I don't really see a world in any game where you just are able to summon on every banner and aren't gonna get shafted eventually, and it's just gonna put you in like a really grief spot where you're kind of behind. So for the most part, you only really need to be summoning for either A, if it's your favorite unit, obviously, B, if it's a big celebration and there's like pilgrims, because pilgrims obviously have the boosted pilgrim rates and they're still relatively the best units in the game. So when there's a banner that has boosted rates for them, definitely going harder on them is not bad. And then limited, and then the collabs, because obviously it's now or nothing. So yeah, no, especially, I guess not especially for limited, it's more especially for the collabs. Limiteds are still, you know, limited, but at the very least, they rerun every year during that season that they released in. So, you know, there's that. But yeah, you shouldn't really be upgrading your units too much, I don't think, other than like big drops and then treasures. When the treasure units are really good, which the last treasure sets were pretty decent, right? We had Privity and Moron, so those two were pretty good. Everybody was kind of useless though, but those two are pretty good. And those two kind of required a lot of resources, which I guess in that case, that is also when I ran out of resources, because I was upgrading a lot and I ran out of the like gear upgrading stuff, which I'm still a bit behind. I think I'm decent now, because like we got the winter units, both of them I upgraded up decently for their showcase. Snow White I literally maxed because she's goated, so that's 3. And then Moron and Privity got their treasures, which I upgraded Moron pretty nicely. And then I started doing Privities, but I still don't have enough to level up her treasure all the way, so she's kind of on the back burner. And then the collab was 2 that I upgraded. And then I was doing showcases on like Velvet and stuff. And then the anniversary came, so that's even more units. So that's like already 8 or 9 per year. I was like really putting a lot of work into. And that really does deplete your credits if you're not careful and selecting the credits case for the case selector thingamabobber. Okay, for the most part, I think that's everything for the journey from 400 to 500. Real fast, to get, I guess I can talk a bit more about the progression. I do already have, I think, like synchro things on here, but I mean, for the most part, if you're getting like around your journey to level up all your characters, first things first, you got to get through the 160 barrier, and for that, the main thing is you got to get 3 dupes of like, what is it, 5 characters, right? So you kind of only really want to spend your money on the shop and get like these molds or the regular molds, and then just try to keep doing that. And then after that, the jump from, I think, just like 160 to 400 is basically all core cases, like limited. You're basically just waiting on getting as much core cases as you can. And I mean, until then, you kind of only really want to buy core cases, right? And then once you start getting to 400 is when I would say start really selecting a lot of credits, just so that you especially don't run into the issue where you're getting limited on upgrading your units and then you're kind of just like sitting there looking stupid, right? And like, I guess then also it is an interesting talk, especially for me now, is if I'm running out of space here. I do think this game is pretty nice, and like every anniversary or big like celebration, they give you a lot of free slots to open here. I don't even remember what they're called. They're like free unlockers, I believe. But I have been buying this every once in a while. I think realistically you don't need to buy this, because especially actually, yeah, there's no shot that you would need to buy it unless you kind of just want to have them permanently upgraded like this, like how I have it. But because they took off like the weight that you used to have when you remove someone from the synchro device. So for example, right here, Mint, I can remove her and then I can like add anybody else there if I really wanted to, literally immediately. when did they even implement that? I don't remember, but it used to be that you'd have to wait 3 hours for this specific square to like clean up, I suppose, and then you can put someone else back into the thing, right? If you really want to min-max it, and I guess if you just want to save on not buying these, then realistically, you can come here, use a team, take them all off the Synchro, put someone else on here, use that team, take that off the Synchro, and just keep doing that, you know what I mean? So, I mean, there is stuff to do. That being said, I mean, I have a lot of trash here I can just, like, dump, right? Like, I can probably just get rid of, what's her face, the regular Emma. I have regular Emma on here, I think. Yeah, I can get rid of you. I can, like, get rid of all this stuff. Yeah, I have Soda on here. I mean, I'll clean this up whenever I stop being lazy. I do fucking want to buy all this stuff, though. Because, like, it gives me OCD, bro, seeing all these lock screens. I'm not gonna lie. Dang it. Oh, and I don't know if I remember mentioning it, because I think I was wrong last time I made something like this about this, like, max synchro level right here. I think the max is, what, like, 1,100 at this point? So, realistically, how this increases is based off of how much you have unit-wise. So, this takes into account all the units you've pulled and all the dupes you have. So, let's say you have every single unit and plus 7. I think this should be at, like, 1130 or something. I don't know. It's pretty high. I have a lot of catching up to. I'm less than halfway, actually. I was going to say I'm not even halfway there, but yeah, I'm very much so less than halfway to, you know, that. And then obviously I would have to fucking like plus 7 everybody, so there's that. Anyways, I think that's everything. So now, from 400 to 500, I did 7 months. So now we're going to have to see how long it takes me to get to 500 to 600 now, huh? We'll see when we get there. But I do like doing these kind of as a milestone thing and kind of give my thoughts on what I saw while going to the next big jump and like what I was using for the core cases, or if I was picking the credit cases, or hey, maybe I'm going to have to be limited on the battle data. I'm going to have to get some of the cases for that, but I will see. I don't know. Hopefully not. I mean, I have a lot of stocked up, right? Because I haven't transferred like any. So it's mostly just going to wait probably on the money still. We'll see. I think I'll get a nice gauge of that once the new campaign chapter drop, and then I dump a lot of the things I'm hoarding. I mean, I'm hoarding a decent amount of cases currently, even though we did get campaign chapters. When did we get it? Around the collab, I believe, right? No. We got new ones for the anniversary, correct? Oh my god, I can't believe I already forgot. We literally just had that. No! Anyways, I'm just rambling at this point. I think that is everything for this little synchro device milestone to 500. Next stop is 600. Anyways, let me know what you guys think about this little synchro milestone thing. And if you have any tips on the journey to 600, leave them below. I would appreciate that. And if you want to support the channel, subscribing and sharing is very appreciated. And I will catch you guys later.